Here's a problem where we're trying to use logarithmic differentiation to determine the derivative. Okay, so remember, step number one is I'm going to write y equals x to the 8th, x minus 7 to the 9th, over x squared plus 8 all being squared. Okay. Step number two, we're going to take the natural log on both sides, x to the 8th, x minus 7 to the 9th, over x squared plus 8 all being squared. Okay, and then step number three, we're going to expand this guy over here. Okay, so look, we'll leave this alone. Natural log of y equals the natural log of, I believe it was x to the 8th, plus the natural log of x minus 7 to what power? To the 9th, minus the natural log of x squared plus 8 all being squared. Okay, we're going to fix our exponents, so we're going to bring all those exponents down to the front. So this is 8 natural log x plus 9 natural log of x minus 7 minus 2 natural log of x squared plus 8. And now we can go ahead and start taking our derivatives. So when we take the derivative here, this is going to be a 1 over y and a y prime. The derivative of 8 ln x is going to be 8 times 1 over x. The derivative of this one is going to be 9 times 1 over x minus 7. And let's see, the next one is going to be 2 times 1 over x squared plus 8 times the derivative of the inside, which is a 2x, right? So we still have 1 over y and a y prime. So that's an 8 over x, a 9 over x minus 7, and a minus 4x over x squared plus 8. Okay, so next thing we got to do, we got to get all these folks together. Okay, so let me see. I got 1 over y and y prime equals, let's see, my common denominator between x, x minus 7, and x squared plus 8 is going to actually be all of them. So x minus 7, x squared plus 8, x minus 7, and x squared plus 8, x minus 7, and x squared plus 8. And let's see, what did we already had? We already had an 8, a 9, and a 4x. So I already had an 8 here, and a plus 9, and a minus 4x here. Okay, so now the next question is, what did I not have? So over here, I didn't have the x minus 7 or the x squared plus 8. Oops. So I didn't have the x minus 7 or the x squared plus 8. Over here, I didn't have the x or the x squared plus 8. And over here, I didn't have the x or the x minus 7. Okay? So let's see. Now I got 1 over y and my y prime. Okay, so I'll leave the 8 alone. I'm going to go ahead and multiply this part out. That's going to give me an x to the 3rd and a plus 8x and a minus 7x squared and a minus 56. Okay, and then plus, let's see, 9x times this is going to give me a 9x to the 3rd plus a 72x. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and think of this piece right here, y'all, as actually a negative 4x squared. Okay, so I'm going to distribute that negative 4x squared times both those pieces. So that's going to give me a negative 4x to the 3rd and a plus 28x squared. Okay, all of this is over x minus 7, and x squared plus 8. So let's see, 1 over y prime equals, let's see, let's go ahead and distribute that 8 all the way through. 8x to the 3rd, 64x, minus 56x squared, and then whatever 56 times 8 is. Let me see. 56 times 8, 448 with a minus sign. Minus 448, okay. And then I can go ahead and combine these since we're already here. That's a 5x to the third. Let's see. And then I have a plus 28x squared and a plus 72 with an x. Okay. All over x, x minus 7, x squared plus 8. Okay. Let's see what else we can combine. So 1 over y and y prime equals, I'm going to do this part in blue. Okay, so 8x to the third and 5x to the third, that looks like a 13x to the third. Minus 56 and plus 28, that was a 28, sorry, is a minus 28x squared. Okay. 64 and 72, let me see, 64 plus 72, 136, so plus 136 with an x, and then I still have a minus 448. All of this is over x, x minus 7, and x squared plus 8. Okay, so now on the next slide, I'm going to write 1 over y and a y prime equals, I'm just going to copy what I had before. I remember the denominator, that I know. Okay, but what do we got upstairs? 13x to the third minus 28x squared. 13x to the third minus 28x squared. What else do we got? Plus 136x and a minus 448. Plus 136x and a minus 448? Yes, minus 448. Okay, so now, next step we got to do, y'all, we're going to multiply everything by y. Okay, so those are going to cancel. So I'm going to end up with y prime equals, let's go slow, x minus 7, x squared plus 8, 13x to the third, minus 28x squared, plus 136x, minus 448. Okay, all of this is being multiplied by whatever y was. So let's come back to the very beginning. Here was y, x to the 8th, x minus 7th to the 9th. X to the 8th, x minus 7th to the 9th, all over x squared plus 8, all being squared. Okay, so now stuff is going to start canceling. This x here will cancel with one of those. There's going to be 7. This x minus 7th will cancel with one of these. There'll be 8. So my y prime should be 13x to the third minus 28x squared plus 136x minus 448. If I have an x squared plus 8 and I got another x squared plus 8, two of them, now we have an x squared plus 8 all raised to the third. And I also have my x to the 7th and my x minus 7th to the 8th, right? And if I come back over here and let me see, pull in the original problem here. So let's see, 13x to the third, do we have that? Yes, we do. Minus 28x squared, do we have that? Yes, we do. Aha. We have a 136x and you got a 104x. And we have a minus 448 and you got a minus 224, okay? So again, those seem to be the issues on why the problem wasn't working out. Everything else, I believe, is correct. Let's see, x minus x to the 7th, x minus 7 to the 8th, all this is good. So these are the two mistakes. You should have a 136x. Let me get the eraser to get rid of that out just so you can kind of see it. Okay, and so we had a plus 136x. Let me just fix that. Looks a little messy that way, doesn't it? Okay. So a plus 136x and a minus 448. Everything else looks good. So that seems to be the error. If y'all got questions, let me know.